go. We're talking about the earnings reports to watch for the week of November 2nd. I hope you're excited. We're going to be talking about some of these. There's a lot of good companies here this week we'll be getting into. I have 2 focus stocks this week that I'll be looking at. And again, obviously a lot of these positions might be important to a lot of people, but I'm focusing on 2 specific ones that are relevant more to me necessarily. So if you find other ones, we're probably going to be doing some earnings report videos throughout the week. So don't be expecting that I won't do that. So we'll get right into it with Monday before open. Big stuff Monday before open. We start off with kind of a banger in the Clorox company. Now, there's obviously a lot of ways to think about this. Naturally, this is a company that should, all things considered, be picking up business at an astronomical rate because the products they produce are selling at astronomical rates. My concern with this is obviously from working in retail, the lack of availability. So to my understanding, I believe a lot of this stuff is probably going to, hospitals, first responders before it's going to, retail outlets who are buying them. And I guarantee you retail outlets probably pay a little bit more than what they're charging the hospitals and stuff for them. So I think that can be a damper. And again, obviously this is just a boring stock as is. Clorox it's a boring stock typically, besides this year, but a big year for them. But I think their earnings will be hampered just a little bit due to the lack of production. I don't think they've necessarily been producing quite enough to meet with demand. I don't think so. I think there's a lot more they could be doing to really, really benefit from the situation. But all things considered, you know what? I think it's going to be a good earnings report. So after them, we have Wingstop. I don't know really what you can expect out of these food places this quarter. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good as what you might have expected from last year. So expect some down in terms of revenue. You've got Horizon, Lumber Liquidators. I see a lot of commercials for Lumber Liquidators. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? They're getting rid of wood, cheap wood, man. Don't know what to think about them. There's a lot of home projects going on right now, so maybe they see a benefit this quarter. But not a company I'm super familiar with to know. Marathon, Waste Management. Waste Management's, they've been doing a good job. Expect good quality numbers out of Waste Management. It's just what they do. Estee Lauder. On Semiconductors, AMC Networks, and Leidos. After close, we have a pretty good one in PayPal. I think this is potentially a pretty big beneficiary of success, really just due to the fact that touchless options are kind of key. Now you are seeing some of these other companies get into the space of PayPal, right? Where they're offering touchless options now. So I do think in the future you need to consider that with PayPal, as really there's going to be these bigger banks and other companies like that are kind of going to start. You hear that? They're going to start eating PayPal's lunch. I got to be honest, because the bigger names aren't going to be. They're going to be winning people back. PayPal's going to be losing people, in my opinion. Could be wrong on that aspect, but it is something to look out for. You've got SWK Holdings, Camping World, Callan Petroleum Company, Solar Edge, Arista. AMC Entertainment is obviously we were because I covered their last earnings report, which was a disaster. You're talking about 60% revenue declines, EPS negative $10 a share, horrible stuff. This quarter, I don't think you're going to be expecting too much more. Obviously, we see some reopening, which is good, but there's no movies. They finally, after they were going to stay closed, finally are reopening some, but I just don't see it being there. I see awful EPS numbers and awful revenue numbers coming from this company. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be another ugly earnings, and we'll cover it, trust me, because I would love to have a laugh. That's funny. It's rude, but, There's Sears Logic. Expect some really good numbers, obviously, with the new generation of iPhones. I don't know necessarily what stage of production they're in, but obviously they have to be already produced for the most part, so will third quarter really see that benefit from them as far as the chips are concerned? They're really focused on the audio codecs that are in these phones. So I see a benefit happening there, obviously, with iPhones. Depending on how much they're projecting, obviously will depend how many iPhones they're making. So I don't know what those numbers look like, but I can guarantee Apple's going to be overstocked rather than understocked for the 5G release, We have Realty Income, really, really cool one here, because obviously I love me some Realty Income. They've been able to do well as far as people or the people they're leasing to paying rent, so I think you're going to see it down year over year in terms of revenue, no doubt, because they're not necessarily collecting. They typically will collect like 99.23% of their rent. It's been closer to the 95 to 98 range, unfortunately. So you'll see a kind of a miss on there, but not too bad. You have Diamondback Energy as well. Cool for them. Tuesday before open, we saw some really good stuff with Etsy. I think Wayfair is going to post similar numbers. Wayfair is an incredible company for this environment, and you should expect some really good numbers. There's Humana, Bosch Health, McKesson, Catalent, your agriculture company, AGCO, man, can you believe it? Don't know about them. Spirit, Cisco, and Top Build. No real crazy insights on any of those. After close on Tuesday, we have GW Pharmaceuticals, Neighbors Industries, Prudential, good for them. Tabula Rasa, don't even know what that is, if I'm being frankly honest with you. But we do love the gold. We love gold. Not really. Gold sucks. Humane Society Finance. What does that say? I literally can't read that. Wow. That's too small. I wish it was a little bit bigger. Chemours, Clear Water Paper, I should say. Community Healthcare, and Mercury. Don't know if I have much to say about these companies. Really, none of them I'm super familiar with to actually have insights on. So if you hold one of these positions, good for you. But I don't really have anything special to say about these ones, unfortunately. Before open Wednesday, we have Wendy's. Hey, do you like Wendy's? You heard that joke before? Wendy's nuts. Woo! Anyways, we've seen fast food companies still kind of underperforming this year so far. So don't know what to expect from Wendy's. I do love the spicy nuggets. I really do. But I don't know if that carries them. And spicy chicken sandwich, they didn't. I'm just saying. Last time I went, they told me they didn't have it. That's all I'm going to tell you. That spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's, I wanted it, and they told me they didn't have it. So I'm just going to hold that against them. Scott's Miracle-Gro. I think it's been a really good year for all sorts of gardening, honestly. So I think Scott's Miracle-Gro really is a good quarter. They've been doing a lot of home projects, and really that includes stuff like gardening. It does. So good stuff. We have Hilton Worldwide as well. Ionis, BBSI, Avista Corp, PFG, Broadwind, Hamilton Lane, and Sinclair. So then after close, we do have one of my focus stocks in Qualcomm, right? We wanted to focus on Qualcomm because obviously, again, we talk about 5G iPhones. This is important. And it depends on really what that backlog looks like as far as their phone production. So they're expected an EPS of $1.17 versus 78 cents a year ago. And expected to grow revenue 23% this quarter, which is a pretty big quarter. Now, I think they're pricing more of this revenue gain in, or they're projecting more of the revenue gain into next quarter coming up as far as their benefit from this iPhone, obviously. I see it being as a mixed bag. I think there will actually be a revenue beat because I do think they're going to be. They've sold more chips this quarter than they might have expected, in my opinion. I think Apple probably stocked up early for production. I could be wrong on that, but that's just something about it feels like that. I think Apple's extra prep for this new generation. So EPS line, don't know what that looks like. I think it'll be relatively accurate. Zynga as well. Good for Zynga. I think mobile, obviously I more refer to Zynga as mostly mobile games, I'll be honest. It's a category that's done really well this year, so definitely look at those numbers. Mercado Libre, Upwork, Qorvo, plus Match. I still want to see, as far as Match is concerned, what Facebook's taken away with that, and what other competitors have really taken away from them, because there's a lot of dating sites right now. A lot, especially now. This is an interesting quarter for Match, really, if you think about it, because do people really, I mean, they can't meet people in person, so Match is one of the only places for them to go. So I think they do see a benefit from that as far as new users, so just something to consider. See Marathon Oil and Paycom. Then Thursday before open, Alibaba, really important one to look at. Could be a really big earnings. This is their quarter. I mean, this is the beneficial quarter for them. It's going to be massive as far as revenue gain, I believe. There's Barrick as well. GM, Ford posted some really good numbers. Really good numbers this quarter. I'll see if GM can copy that. AstraZeneca, Regeneron, obviously going to be known for, frankly, their antibody treatment is what was used by the President of the United States. So they're going to probably mention that on there. And I guarantee you, if you look at companies like this, I think they're going to post really good numbers as far as people just buying the drug as a preventative measure. So I think Regeneron should put up some good numbers. I think so. Amarin, sorry, I should say it that way. I know only one real Amarin, the energy company. Get out of here, fake one. Bristol Myers Squibb, Kronos Group. You know, see that sound is smoking a little ganja. Don't like the stock. Don't like it. Still don't like it. Sorry. Papa John's. Don't know if I'm feeling fast food right now. I don't know. The stocks are just getting hammered this year. And Teva. After close, Square's reporting. Again, I mentioned Square as far as I don't know. It's a super tough one to say because obviously they're big for small business. Small business is getting hammered, but they also benefit big business. Now, the only concern is that I mentioned previously these big banks that are actually getting into this field of mobile payments and touchless payments. Square could see really kind of a damper on that because people might turn to the more, in their eyes, trusted big bank. So it's interesting to see on that one. So we'll be looking at it. Roku's another one of my focus stocks, mostly because I'm shocked by this analyst estimate here. They're expected negative 40 cents versus a negative 22 cents a year ago. So the idea that they could possibly lose EPS it'd be crazy to see. I just don't see that being feasible. And if it was, I would say it'd be a big concern for this company because they're going in the wrong way. That's the wrong way entirely in terms of where you're supposed to be going towards profitability. They're going far away. Last year they posted a negative 52 cent line, and if this quarter alone they post negative 18 cents, I don't know. I don't like it. Then as far as the quarter is concerned, they're expected a 40% increase in sales and revenue. I see that, and I think it's probably going to be a little bit bigger than 40%. I think it's a beat on revenue. Mostly because of, the Prime viewing ownership right now. And you see Netflix posted some really good numbers as far as viewership, and I think Roku sees benefit as far as that's concerned as well. So take a look at that one. Then we have Peloton. Stock's going wild. Don't know really insights as far as these earnings, but I do think it could hurt the company long term if you talk about, potential recession and we go into a secondary lockdown. You could see people buying these as a preventative measure because they can't go to the gym. Yes, for sure. I think that's a big benefit with gyms being shut down. Peloton sees a big benefit. But again, as far as the monetary aspect, these are expensive machines. And are people going to be investing in this in the middle of, potential recession environments? Don't know. Cloudflare, bleh. Really good company, by the way. I'll be looking at those earnings for sure. Virgin Galactic, you don't need to throw that on here. I mean, that's 10 years down the road, maybe we'll talk about that stock. How about that? They're going to report literally nothing because they don't make revenue. You have the Trade Desk, Dropbox, Alteryx, Uber. I'm expecting horrible numbers from Uber, by the way. Horrible. And Sunrun. Yeah, Uber, not expecting much here. That's all I can tell you. Friday, we have CVS Health, Enbridge, Viacom, Amneal, Elanco, Immunogen. They also have a COVID-19 treatment coming out, I believe. TELUS, AES, Marriott, which, by the way, should be bad numbers, and Virtu. So that's it for the week. Hope you really enjoyed, and if you have anything you want me to look at specifically, let me know.